So after 15 months of Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza, which led to the barbaric slaughtering of hundreds of thousands of innocent Palestinians, the ceasefire between the settler colony of Israel and Hamas has finally taken effect. The implementation of the ceasefire was delayed by 3 hours from the Israeli side, and as expected, Israeli terrorists used this opportunity to murder at least 19 more Palestinians. This is how barbaric these Israeli terrorists have been in the last 15 months. They have used and found any opportunity to slaughter innocent Palestinians. Israel confirmed that it had received the names of 3 captives who will be freed by Hamas on the first day of the ceasefire. As I speak, they may already have been released. There are also reports of 90 Palestinian hostages expected to be freed from Israeli concentration camps on the first day. Meanwhile, Palestinians have begun returning to their ruined homes, and they are truly shocked to see what they are finding. This is journalist Hind Khudri presenting the ground report on Al Jazeera from Rafah, which was supposed to be the red line for genocidal Joe Biden and butcher of babies Anthony Blinken.
As you see behind me, there are people coming, putting everything they have and getting ready to go to Rafah. We are in Rafah right now. We are actually on one of the main roads connecting Khan Yunis to Rafah. And as you see, people are calling that they're going to Rafah now. And yes, the destruction is massive. As you see, I'll show you one of the families that for the first time since the Israeli forces came and invaded Rafah, these Palestinians got the chance to come to their houses for the first time. And they came and found it shocking that their houses are completely reduced to the rubble. As you see, we see a man just sitting on top of his bombed house, and we see another family trying to clean up, trying to gather whatever left from their houses to bring back their families.
Rafah was supposed to be the red line for the rogue regime of Biden. But when Israelis defied the US, Zionist spokespersons in the White House and the State Department had justified Israeli action, saying that this was not a full-fledged incursion, but only a limited operation.
Thanks, Admiral. Can you explain how the strike in Rafah does not cross the lines that the President has set and many of you have repeated, that the operations be targeted and limited?
We still don't believe that a major ground operation in Rafah is warranted. We still don't want to see the Israelis, as we say, smash into Rafah with large units over large pieces of territory. We still believe that, and we haven't seen that at this point. But we're going to be watching this, of course, very, very closely. I want to just end this answer by making it very clear that regardless, every single loss of innocent life is tragic, and every single loss of innocent life should be prevented as much as possible.
Has the president seen the images?
I don't know. I can't speak to what he has absolutely been. He's been kept apprised throughout the weekend on this.
So you're saying the tent encampment that was first struck is considered a densely populated area?
The whole area of Rafah, Ed, is densely populated. Now, there has been 1 million or so who have evacuated Rafah proper, but it's not like they're going all that far away. The whole area is densely populated.
So how does this not violate the red line that the president laid out?
As I said, we don't want to see a major ground operation. We haven't seen that at this point.
Now you saw the video report presented by journalists on Al Jazeera. Does it look like the effect of limited incursion? The complete destruction of Rafah is another example of the collective savagery of the US under the Biden regime and the settler colony of Israel built on the stolen land of Palestinians. Never forget, and let anyone forget, the terrorism unleashed by these terrorists employed by the White House and the State Department. This beautiful rendition of the Islamic call for prayer by journalist Jihad Abu Shamala from inside his ruined home left me in tears, and this will make you cry as well. You don't have to understand Arabic to feel the sadness and pain in his voice.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح.
These people are some of the bravest journalists on the planet at the moment. While the Gaza genocide exposed the likes of the BBC, CNN, New York Times, and others, and unmasked their hidden genocidal intent, the world came to know who the real journalists have been. Jihad Abu Shamala and countless others have ingrained their names in history books as journalists who risked their lives despite having sacrificed their loved ones to Israeli terrorism to document this genocide. Another young journalist who shot to fame and glory, and for the right reason, was Abu Bakr Abid. This 20-something journalist, who given a choice would like to report on English Premier League football, was forced to document Israeli war crimes by rapidly changing circumstances. Based in North Gaza, Abu Bakr remained steadfast and relentless in his pursuit of truth, even as Israelis forced Palestinians in that part of Gaza to starvation and subsequent deaths. This is what he tweeted in the immediate aftermath of the implementation of the ceasefire.
So that is the scene right now inside the hospital where hundreds of people are gathering to celebrate this long-awaited moment, which is the ceasefire. The Israeli tanks are still shelling central Gaza, particularly areas around the Mediterranean corridor. It's a time of real happiness, pure elation, and everyone here has been craving this moment. So it's their time, it's their happiness, it's their joy, which they totally deserve. Doctors, nurses, medical professionals, and everyone, children, women, fathers, families, everyone is gathering here to celebrate this moment and relish it.
Abu Bakr has promised to send a detailed report for Janta Ka Reporter as soon as he is in a better position to do so. Now that reporters in Gaza are able to report on Israeli war crimes, more and more people around the world will see the true colors of bloodthirsty terrorist Benjamin Netanyahu and other members of his medieval gangs driven by the ideology of savagery. When even John Simpson of the BBC says that Netanyahu has truly been exposed, it tells you everything about the kind of crimes against humanity Israelis have committed with the help of the US and the UK and the EU, Canada and Australia.
The fact is that Israel's response to the 7th of October attacks have lost its support really right across the world. Now, Israelis would say, I mean, Israeli friends of mine would say, well, where is it? Where does it get us anyway? Having the friendship of nations, but it does affect things. And my feeling is that from henceforth, Israel will be much more bound in by the hostility of other countries. It's now, I mean, it'll be impossible for Prime Minister Netanyahu to to travel through large parts of Europe and other parts of the world because of the International Criminal Court investigation into his involvement in all of this. And I think Israel will find itself much more circumscribed in future as a result of this. And that
It's early days in the ceasefire, but the good news is that at least 200 trucks carrying food entered Gaza through Karem Abu Shalem corridor. The World Food Programme said that its trucks carrying life-saving wheat flour and ready-to-eat food parcels for people in desperate need entered Gaza. The WFP also said that it aimed to deliver food daily along humanitarian corridors that include Egypt, Jordan, and Israel crossing points. As I said before, terrorist Biden and Blinken deliberately blocked the supply of food to Palestinians. They were in a position to keep the supply going, but they chose to starve Palestinians to death. What does it say about the so-called Western civilization? Salute to those Americans who campaigned relentlessly for their defeat in the last elections. I will leave you with another gut-wrenching video that journalist Jihad Abu Shamala shared from his social media page.
ومن خلف السجن كانت الحكاية حكاية أسرانا اللي صانوا الراي أمة محمد قومي أنا جاي والله ما نخلي ولا مسجونا.
Let's pray for the people of Gaza and salute their courage and resilience, the qualities that have made me a better human being, and I'm sure millions of people from around the world too have been inspired by them. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should become part of it. The details are in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.